Okay, well, let's just go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, for another Friday meditation workshop. Yep. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, there's also every Tuesday night, we at 7 p.m. Eastern, we do a what's called an ascension workshop where we discuss operating or conditioning yourself to experience and spend time in a higher dimensional framework. And what this is all about at the end of the day, this is all about conditioning your physical body through energetic work and light work to just recondition your body to get rid of all the obstructions, all the tensions, all the stresses. That's why we do the clearing space meditation. Should be doing that if you're not doing that a couple of times a week, you need to do that clearing space meditation, just to clear all the obstructions and all the tension that you're holding. And slowly we're reconditioning ourselves to adapt and spend more time at higher dimensional awareness. And today, in this session, we're going to go to the fourth dimension, and we're just going to spend a little bit of time there, and I'll explain to you, what it's really for, what value thinking in the fourth dimension really has. But again, the goal of this weekly workshop is to keep you on track with your weekly meditation, to keep moving that number up until you're, starting to meditate on a daily basis, on a regular basis, not just morning and night, which is important. But I understand sometimes you can't make it every morning and every night. I get that. But the goal of this meditation process is, as I said, it's a conditioning. You're conditioning your consciousness is to start to have moments of clarity throughout the day. So it's not just I meditate in the morning, meditate at night, but I can actually start to maintain a meditative mindset throughout the day, or remind myself, as you just said, Trace, to just relax into that seventh dimensional pulsation. Now, I believe almost everybody who's on here now was also there on Tuesday, I think. Was anybody not there on Tuesday? Let me ask it that way, the reverse. There's one or two names I don't recognize, but most of the names I recognize who were there on Tuesday night. Was anybody not there on Tuesday night? There's one or two names so that may not have been there. All right. So a couple of things. As I said, the most important way to think about this is, hold on, I'm missing what piece of paper? The piece of paper, the one piece of paper that has all my notes on it. Where could I have put it? Give me 1 second. No, yes, no. The problem is I have too many pieces of paper. Bear with me for 1 second here. Oh, it's right there. There it is. All right. So, Michelle, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a fourth dimensional meditation. Why not? We'll include the fifth dimensional meditation. Michelle, this Friday workshop is kind of a support group for people that are working through this book, Meditation for Life. I just put this on Amazon maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I just want you to know, when you get this book, there are 4 guided meditations in this book. And each of the guided meditations is designed to kind of open up a different experience for you, or a different aspect of your inner being. But the point is, you're not alone. Every Friday, like we're doing right now, 4 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do a meditation workshop to keep you on track. And again, this is your meditation practice. No one else can do it for you, but we can support you and help you and keep you spinning. So before we jump in, we'll do a fourth dimensional meditation now. But before we jump in, let's just take a second to reset ourselves. I like to think of, putting like a cell phone in a charging dock, those old phones, put them in a charging dock and just kind of recharge yourself for 60 seconds. Let's just do that. Just recharge for 60 seconds. And in that process, I want you to turn your sight inward and start to become aware of your diaphragm, observe your diaphragm, relaxing. And instead of just allowing your diaphragm to do whatever it wants, by the third or fourth breath, I want you to start to expand your diaphragm a little bit longer and start to see how much air you can take into your lungs just by relaxing your diaphragm. And as you start to draw more and more and more air into your lungs, start to do the deep breathing, you should feel the bottom of your rib cage begin to slowly expand. You should feel your back muscles begin to relax as the lungs begin to push against the back muscles. The goal in this is just to expand your lung capacity in a very gentle way. So just do a couple more diaphragmatic deep breaths, but this time just see how far you can go with just the diaphragmatic breath through your nose. One of the things that you'll begin to discover, and I want you to have this experience, but I want you to experience it more often so that this experience becomes a normal experience, not just a one time, wow, that was really interesting. I want you to just not go to higher dimensions one time. I want you to regularly go there so it becomes a more normal experience. You become acclimated to it. So your consciousness begins to expand because these higher dimensional experiences start to become more real. Why are they more real? Because you're spending more time more frequently. You're going to these higher dimensions more often. You're spending more time in it. Eventually, you'll start reminding yourself during the day to start to see the world, see yourself from higher dimensional perspectives. And you're conditioning yourself to create that as a new normal. You're eventually, what we're trying to do is anchor in higher dimensional awareness. So your consciousness is very much like an elevator. You get into the elevator, you press whatever button you want. If you don't press any button, you'll just be immersed in the roller coaster of the third dimension, and you'll see, yep, there are lots of different ways to remind yourself of it. You can snap a rubber band, wear a bracelet. And these things, Liz, are like tools. They work for a while, like that bracelet will work for you for a while. Then you'll wear it and you'll realize you haven't looked at it in 3 weeks. So these are tools. They're like little step ladders to get you to another plateau. And then you kind of need, that tool works for as long as it works. Then you kind of need other tools to take you to the next plateau. And then you could wear the bracelet again, and then it works again and gets you to another plateau. But all of these reminders to yourself, what I find works best, Liz, in that regard, about reminders to take a breath, elevate your consciousness, relax for a second. What I find works really well is tying those reminders to things that you do every day. So, for example, I have, this water thing with a straw in it, and when I watch TV, it's right there next to me, and when I'm finished, so it's empty, I stand up, and when I'm refilling the water with the refrigerator and from the filtered water, I remind myself to stand up straight. I remind myself about my posture. I remind myself to take a breath and to just kind of relax and recharge. So every time I refill the water, it's just a reminder to myself. And for example, every time I put my hands on the steering wheel when I drive, I remind myself to take diaphragmatic breaths and just relax and kind of clear my mind and just observe in the present moment what's going on. So you want to set up reminders, like in the same way that you put out your clothes the night before. Why do you do that? So that when you wake up, oh, I already have my clothes out. I don't have to go running around in the morning. You're setting yourself up for success. You're setting up these reminders throughout the day. Every time I go in, my wife has her little, cubby hole where she does her thing and watches her shows and goes on her iPad. And every time I walk in that room, it trips a reminder for me to just to take a breath and whatever I was gonna say, to rethink what I was gonna say and just say, "Hey, honey, how you doing? You look beautiful today." Just to refresh. So every time, whether it could be anything, it could be related to work, it could be driving, it could be just things you do around the house, or every time I brush my teeth, I try to um, just use like no muscles. I try to like just relax, and I do all kinds of things to remind myself throughout the day. So, but having said that, those reminders are like sometimes just temporary ladders that work, and then your reminder doesn't work for a while. That's okay. Just come up with other things. You can't get stuck on the one thing being the only thing that reminds you to elevate. So let's go back into so I was talking about the elevator, right? If you don't press any other button, you're just going to be tied to the third dimension. It's just the way it is. We have two modes in our life. We have the active mode where we're projecting, thinking, navigating, doing the laundry, shopping, out there taking care of the kids, going to work. That's our projecting mode. And in that projecting mode, we're not aligned, so to speak. And then there's the other part of our life, the inward draw, where we meditate, where we contemplate, where hey, let me take a minute, stand up straight. Let me take some deep breaths. It's that contemplative. Let me listen to some meditations. Let me get myself in a meditative state. So there's an inward draw, and then there's an outward projection. And if you don't have a meditation practice, you can pretty much bet that there's not ever really going to be an inward draw. You'll always be projecting. Then you're projecting on top of projecting on top of projecting. And that's how everybody is so out of balance, because they never take a moment to draw in. So meditation, if you get rid of the word meditation, is just taking a minute to align and balance. And so you have to take a few minutes a day, preferably morning and when you wake up, night before you go to sleep, to anchor your day in alignment. If you don't have this meditation practice, there's no anchoring. And so you're always going to be projecting. You may think you're aligning, but probably not, because you're not really disciplined about it. So you have to create a little bit of a discipline. Now let's talk just a little bit about discipline, because I asked earlier, give yourself a grade from 1 to 10 on how your meditation practice was this week. We got 110, which was fantastic. But we got a lot of fives and sixes. And here's the thing. You need to discipline yourself now so that you have the freedom in the future to not worry about it anymore. Like I couldn't imagine, like my subconscious, if I tried to go to sleep without meditating, just even for a few minutes, this doesn't have to be a formal thing. My mind says, you can't go to sleep. You have to meditate. So your subconscious begins to work as your ally. So it's really important to discipline yourself. It doesn't feel you're disrupting your comfort zone. So it's disrupting isn't fun. That's not a pleasant feeling. You're feeling disrupted. You're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this. But here's the point. Discipline is freedom. Discipline today means the freedom tomorrow where you don't have to think about it anymore. And meditating is just one part of it. Deep breathing is another thing. Force yourself, overemphasize deep breathing for the next few days, weeks, and months, so that for the next 50 years, you're just going to be a deep breather. You're paying it forward. You're planting these little seeds now of meditating every day, deep breathing every day, stretching, posture exercises, energy flow exercises. These are little seeds that you're planting, and you want to be disciplined about it so that when the future comes, it's just embedded in who you are. You're just changing your life stream. You're literally changing your subconscious flow in the world. You're changing. So discipline today, it's boring. I don't feel like doing it. Your little comfort zone, it has a little voice. It says, no, we don't, nah, I don't want to do that. This is my comfort zone. I'm really, really happy. We need comfort zones as human beings. We need repetition. We need security. We need to be subconscious and just kind of, not really think all the time. We need that. But what we're trying to do is plant seeds up here so that our comfort zone rises. We still have a comfort zone, but now it includes meditating and deep breathing and stretching and doing all the things that I wanted to do for myself. So you're paying it forward to yourself now with self-discipline so that in the future, it's just a part of who you are. And you can do this with anything. It's the same thing with washing the dishes. You can really like focus really, really hard on it, focus on it, focus on it, focus on it. So now you do the dishes. 3 weeks from now, it doesn't feel like it's a chore. Oh, I hate doing it. And that's gone because you've been doing the dishes, focusing on doing them right, scrubbing every little piece off, doing the thing. And you created a routine which becomes subconscious. So that's the goal. And the other thing is to realize is that if you don't make these improvements in your life, just say you just don't, and you just keep going, another bad week, another bad week, another bad week, and you're just not making the improvements, no one's going to help you. Like no one's in the world sits there. It's not anybody's job to sit there, Carolyn, and not picking on you, but how can I make Carolyn's life better today? Like I have a magic wand. Poof, Carolyn, you're going to be everything's going to be great for you. No, you have to become self-reliant. You have to realize that I'm for me. Like I'm the only one who really cares. I have to do the work now. I've got to plant the seeds. I mean, it's nice to be able to come to a meditation workshop. This is a great resource to remind me and keep me on track. But when I X out of this and I go back to my regular life, hmm, no one's going to help you do this. Self-reliance is one of the most important keys. You've got to become self-reliant. And then once you flip into that mindset of self-reliance, you realize just how much you've been waiting and hoping and kind of just hanging around, waiting for something else to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change the world. A lot of people, are in this alien track. They just believe, oh, the aliens are going to come down. They're going to make everything better. Probably not, right? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But why would you wait for that? You've got to become self-reliant in the meantime. And if they do come and change the world, that's great. I'm on board with that. That'd be fantastic. But the truth is, we can't wait. Could be 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, 6 decades, 600 years before they don't understand our timelines. So we have to build our own lives. We've got to become self-reliant. And that message also goes to our group as a collective. We can't just wait for someone to start a collective. Here's the collective. We're the ones that have to do it. We're the ones that have to take action every day. No one has a magic wand and is going to make this happen for us. No one's going to fix your posture for you. No one's going to make you a deep breather. No one's going to change the way you eat and, chew your food. You've got to do all of those things yourself. Which really ties into what we're going to talk about. We're going to do this fourth dimensional meditation. And I really would like to find a shortcut so that those of us who already have this common knowledge base, which we'll develop right now, can just shortcut this whole process and just instantly elevate to a fourth dimensional perspective. And I'll give you some shortcuts that I use that you can use as well. So let's just do the fourth dimensional meditation. So we're going to ascend to a fourth dimensional understanding. So we're in the elevator, we're going to press 4. And we're not going to operate in third dimensional construct, at least for the time being, for the purpose of this meeting. We're going to operate in the fourth dimension. So let's rise to the fourth dimension. And to go to the fourth dimension, you don't need to be anybody special or do anything special or have any special background or history at all. All we're doing is shifting the mindset. I'm going to turn on a light. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. So relax, close your eyes, and we're going to do the fourth dimensional meditation. Notice, even with your eyes closed, most of the time you're still projecting outward, thinking, visualizing, wordifying something, explaining something to yourself, projecting all of your energy, your focus, your light, your attention outward. What we're going to do is very gently, it's a very subtle thing. We're going to reverse that flow and we're going to put our attention inward, inside our own being. Feel how that shift happens. For me, it's a slightest little shift of my eyeballs and now everything is focused inward. And once you get this inward focus, I want you to maintain it. So I want you to imagine like a rock dropping in a deep ocean. It just keeps going down, down, down. Your attention goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper inside your own being. And this ability to reverse your awareness and maintain focus inside your own being, this is called inner sight. And it's something that has to be developed over time because it's our immediate reaction to lose this and project back outward. But I want you to reverse that. Every time you feel it, keep reversing your awareness to within your being, and then feel that attention go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, effortlessly becoming more focused on the inside. I want you to imagine we're all on a plane. We all have window seats, and the plane is now going down the runway, and it accelerates. Eventually, it lifts up off the ground and into the air. And as the plane continues to rise, you can look around and you can see people, you can see cars, you can start to see the highways, thousands of cars going back and forth on the highway. You can see the city, you can see the farmland around the city. And as you get higher and higher, the plane goes into the clouds and it gets gloomy and dark, misting on the windows. And eventually the plane rises and pops out above the top of the clouds. And what do you see? Blue sky in all directions. You see the bright sun overhead. That's the fifth dimension. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But here in this fourth dimension, the clouds below, that represents mind. The third dimension is a dimension of mind. And everybody below the clouds is operating subconsciously. They're running around doing something. They're always in a rush. I don't think they know where they're going, but they're in a very big rush to get there. You are above mind. You are sovereign, a sovereign being of light. You control your next thought. You decide your next thought. You choose what you put in your mind. You are above mind. You are not a slave of the subconscious. And as you look down in the third dimension, I want you to see your own body like an avatar in a game, just sitting there in the chair with its eyes closed. Your body will not move unless you tell it to move. Your body has no mind of its own, has no agenda. It's simply waiting for your instructions. And you can look back on your own life. It's called your timeline, your life stream. From the time you were born, you can see how everything that impacted you is all like little thread in this giant cable that's been building and building and building. This is your life stream. And all of your experiences, positive, negative, neutral, every commercial you've ever watched, every cartoon you watched when you were a kid, it's all in there. These things are all affecting who you are and your life stream. And you can see, if you look down on your own self, you can see that your life stream comes to the present moment. And you can see how it got there. And you can see that if you don't change anything about yourself, your life stream will just continue on exactly as it's always been. But our job in the fourth dimension is to plant new seeds so that that third dimensional life stream begins to shift, become healthier, happier, more abundant, calmer, more aligned, more balanced. But if you don't make any changes, nothing's going to happen. So our job is to plant the seeds from the fourth dimension. Now, let me explain the life stream a little bit more. When you're in the third, let's just imagine in the fourth dimension, you imagine that's like a cable on the ocean floor. It's just lying on the floor. That life stream from the time you were born until this right now very moment. Just imagine that it's literally like a cable lying on the floor, and you can see how you can make changes in it. And you can start to slowly move that life stream in other directions. When you're in the third dimension, and I want you to do this right now, I want you to shift your perspective to now you're inside that cable. You're inside your own life stream. And you can see that the world just comes at you 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. It just never stops. And you spend your whole life trying to react to what you're seeing, to what you're experiencing. But in the fourth dimension, you push that down and you can see that actually also, you're in the life stream in the third dimension, but it's also just as true in the fourth dimension that you're above that life stream. And you can see how you can actually begin to control it and begin to move it. And you also understand in the fourth dimension that you're above time. And you can see how the universe operates in much, much longer rhythms and cycles. And the seeds that you're planting today don't sprout today. You have to keep planting seeds today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And if you keep planting these seeds in the future, in its own time, those seeds will take root and they'll sprout and you'll live in this beautiful orchard of beautiful trees and garden. But it didn't just happen. You planted the seeds today. And what do I mean when I say plant seeds in your third dimensional life? I mean new habits and routines. I mean new thought structures, new focus points. I mean new self-talk, getting rid of the old scripts in your head that are anchored to third dimensional experience, clearing those out and replacing those with more positive self-talk, more optimism, more enthusiasm, more excitement about the future. That's what I mean by planting seeds. You can't just plant one seed and expect to get a whole garden in the future. You've got to do the work every day and keep planting and planting and planting. Keep disrupting your third dimensional comfort zone over and over and over again until disruption just seems normal. In the beginning, disruption seems very hard. But what I want you to do is be your own self-disruptor. Disrupt yourself constantly. Hold yourself to higher standards. Don't just allow the life stream to just continue. There are things in that life stream that are good that you want to hold on to, but much of it is holding you down. And you don't want that anymore. You don't have to worry about how it got there or the only way you're going to get rid of it is to do new things today. And you're doing new things today. You're here. You're meditating about higher consciousness. You've already put a new thought framework into your head. That you have this ability to think in higher consciousness. And this is not imagination. This is fourth dimensional thinking. The fourth dimension, let's talk a little bit more about it. It's frictionless, meaning you can see what's going on in the third dimension, but it doesn't affect you in the fourth dimension. It's frictionless. And in the fourth dimension, you can make plans for your own future. In the third dimension, very difficult to make plans for your own future because you make the plan, but you don't keep it because the world just keeps coming at you constantly. And there's no escape from it. There's no end from it. But in the fourth dimension, you say, okay, here's where I am today. Here's where I want to be in the future. What seeds do I need to plant today, tomorrow, the next day, and start to move my life stream in that direction? And you can start to plan to change things in the future. You can start to develop better health habits. Because I don't know what timeline you're imagining for yourself in the future, but I can tell you for sure, if you haven't really thought about it, you want to be healthy in the future. So new health habits today are essential to make sure that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, you are the healthiest, highest vibration, highest efficiency version of your own health that you can be. That's not going to happen by itself. It's going to happen because you make changes today, because you make new decisions today from a higher framework. deeper and more meaningful relationships. I can assure you, and if in your future timeline, imagining yourself 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, you have deep and meaningful relationships. And you can plant those seeds today to repair your relationships, to soften those relationships and replant them with positive intentions and positive word tracks with the people that you love and you want to be with in the future. You want to be more balanced and aligned in your future timeline. This is the time you do it now. The deep breathing, the balancing, the alignment, centering yourself, connecting with source, meditating, taking time to think and to separate yourself from the stress and the tension of every day and just going within yourself, unplugging yourself as much as you can from the third dimensional constructs. Do that today so that in the future you will be a more aligned version of yourself, a happier version of yourself, a healthier version of yourself. We don't know what the future is going to bring, but whatever it is, I want to be happier, healthier, and more aligned. Whatever the future is, I'll face it better. I'll have a better outcome if I'm happier, healthier, and aligned from the inside. Now, notice something about the fourth dimension. Blue skies in all directions. There's really no limit because you're not limited or bound by the third dimension anymore. When you're in this frame of mind, you have limitless possibility, limitless, endless. Nobody is playing defense. You can think anything you want, plan anything you want, say anything you want. There's nobody playing defense. But here's the thing, you have all the power in the universe, but there's an asterisk. You can only use that power to change that three-dimensional version of yourself. You can only use the power of the universe to change you. Don't even try to use this power to change your husband or your wife, or to change your kids, or to change your parents, or to change politics, or to change the price of Bitcoin or the stock market. You don't have any control over anything else in the third dimension except you, that person sitting in that chair, that avatar. You can program that avatar to do anything, to think anything, to be anything. But you can't change anything else. So use that power to make plans to change yourself. And for those of you reading The Cycle of Mind, the thought matrix is this fourth dimensional tool that you can use to get yourself in structural alignment in the third dimension. And there are other tools that we'll talk about. Now, I said you can actually, I said a few things. I said earlier that one of the goals is to recondition your consciousness. The more time you spend in this fourth dimensional understanding of sovereignty, power, control over yourself, control over your own future, the more time you spend at this level of consciousness, the more this level of consciousness becomes normal, becomes your everyday experience. You're conditioning yourself to higher consciousness. You don't just experience it once and now I'm done. It's a conditioning process until this fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, seventh dimensional thinking becomes your new baseline, your new normal. The more you experience it, the more normal it feels. The more normal it feels, the easier it is to get back there. The easier it is to get back there, the easier it is to stay there for longer periods of time. It's a long-term conditioning process, reconditioning not just your body. We talked about energy flow and reducing tension and clearing space. Over the long term, you're reconditioning your physical vessel, your physical body, but you're also reconditioning your thought framework. You're reconditioning yourself to understand that you are way more than that three-dimensional body. And the longer it takes you to be disciplined and self-reliant, the longer the journey takes. It doesn't have to take long. It only takes long if you lack the discipline or the accountability. But it doesn't have to take long. You can become healthier right away by starting to live healthier, new health habits, new routines. It doesn't have to be 20 years from now to get healthy. Why would you want to wait till next year to get healthy? Start right now. Make changes right now. You have sovereignty. You have complete control over who you are and how you go in this world. You're not in the third dimension, it's out of control because you're measuring yourself against the things that are coming at you and you're trying to figure out how to fit into all of that. That's not authentic in any way. That's not power. That's the opposite of power. That's responding to what's happening. The fourth dimension is where you have complete sovereignty, complete power to control and change yourself, anything about yourself. I call the fourth dimension the dimension of journaling. If you're not journaling, then you're not connecting 3D and 4D through your physical body. You want to journal. You want to repeat your thought matrix from the cycle of mind. You want to write that down every day. That's the journaling you need to do. You need to identify the things you want to change, the new habits you want to instill, the new mindsets you want to instill. You can't just treat them as like vaporous thoughts that come and go. You've got to write them down. You have to be concrete. You have to be self-disciplined. And journaling is a very important aspect. And I know there's, well, counting me, 15 people here. I know people say, yeah, I got to journal. Then no, you're not going to journal. Okay, that's your choice. You're an autonomous person, you're an adult. But what I can tell you is that journaling, meditating, deep breathing, these and many, many other of these really important habits are really important habits, and you'll see growth when you do them. If you don't do them because I don't like journaling, I don't have a journal, I never journaled before, I don't know what to write my sure, yeah, you don't have to do it. There's thousands of excuses not to do it. But from the fourth dimension, you can say, hey, you know what? I'm tired of this guy being so unhealthy all the time. Enough of that. Let's start to get healthy. And in the fourth dimension, I can get healthy. Hey, you know what? I'm tired of, making excuses for, I tried to journal before. It was good, but I stopped. I'm tired of making excuses. And in the fourth dimension, you can start new habits, new routines. Journals have so much power because they are literally a connection between third dimension and fourth dimension. And without journaling, all these things are just coming at you. You're reading a book, you're going to these meditation things, all these millions of ideas, and they're not being captured. They're being you're filtering them, you're familiarizing yourself with them, but you want to accelerate your growth. You don't want to spend 10 years figuring this out. Let's spend 10 days figuring it out. Journaling will really help. It's really, and going back and reading what you wrote 6 months, even 6 days ago, going back and reading what you wrote in the past and watching your own progression, it's fantastic. You'll see, you'll have ideas that, man, that was a really good idea. Now I get it. I'm going to do something with it. It's really a powerful habit, and it's basically free. And, it's just a matter of self-discipline to get started. Then once you get started, you'll just be a journaler. But that's not why we're doing this meditation. There's thousands, I mean, not thousands, hundreds, dozens of really solid habits that you can start to include in your life today. And from the fourth dimension, you're observing it not, well, I can't do it. I can't do it. All these reasons I can't do it because the world's coming at me so fast. That you're out of that. You're looking down. You say, oh, I heard all those reasons. That's our inner voice telling me all the reasons. Yeah, I heard that, but that's nothing. Here's what I'm going to do. You can make more sovereign decisions from the fourth dimension. Oh, I was going to say one of the things that I do is I want you to do this with your eyes closed. I want you to see blue sky all around you in the fourth dimension. I want you to see the top of the clouds below. That's mind. I want you to see how you're frictionless to the third dimension. The third dimension is down there. I'm here in the fourth dimension. I've got power. I can think in new ways. I'm not limited in my thinking. I'm not limited in my ideas. I can do, think, say, be anything without limit. And so what I want you to do is I want you to see the blue sky all around you. And I also want you, when you're ready, you can open your eyes, and in the room that you're in, you can superimpose blue sky around the room that you're in. You can see the room that you're in, the wall. I'm looking at a wall, a clock, a painting. I'm seeing that, and I'm also seeing blue sky. We have only like the fraction. We use only the tiniest little fraction of what we're capable of. And these higher dimensional concepts are really valuable. They life changing. And you don't have to be meditating to be in a fourth dimensional state. And those are some of the things I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I call the fourth dimension the dimension of journaling because that's where you're going to make changes to yourself in the third dimension through journaling, repetition, self discipline, self reliance, consistency over long periods of time. That's how you're going to make meaningful changes in that third dimensional avatar. And that is meditation number 4. I kind of took the long route, but in this book, Meditation for Life, for those of you that aren't working with these guided meditations, that's meditation number 4 in this book, rising to fourth dimensional awareness, fourth dimensional consciousness. And now the goal is to maintain that fourth dimensional awareness for as long as you can. You'll lose it. You'll go back into the 3D. And you'll notice, by the way, when you lose that awareness, your body starts to move, all your subconscious things start to come into play. But when you're in that fourth dimensional awareness, that body just sits perfectly still, won't move for anything until you either lose that consciousness or give it permission to move. Let's talk now about rising to the fifth dimension. Whereas the third dimension is the vibratory dimension of mind, the fifth dimension is the higher frequency dimension of light. And you are just as much a fifth dimensional being as you are a third dimensional being. You're simply not open to being aware of it. So we're going to do this meditation that will help you embrace or become more comfortable with that expansive state of light, which you already are. Now, there are 3 things that you need to do to fully experience the fifth dimension. So these are long-term self-development projects. 3 things you need to develop within yourself over the long term to fully experience or anchor this fifth dimensional experience. Number 1 is you've got to start bringing all of the areas of your life into balance. So where there is stress and overwhelm or anger or whatever your particular method of emotionally dealing with things, stress, tension, worry, fear, or anger or control or just kind of pulling yourself away and go hiding in a corner, whatever your coping mechanisms are, you can't you have to start to bring all aspects of your life into balance. You've got to bring your health into balance. You have to bring your relationships into balance. You have to bring your the food that you eat into balance. You have to bring your work life into balance. You have to bring being a parent. You have to find ways to become balanced in all of your activities. Because if you're not balanced and you're stressed and emotional and there's a lot of tension that you're holding on to, you can experience this fifth dimensional meditation that we're going to do, but you can't anchor the light because you're densely out of balance. You're always, you're on a roller coaster. You can't anchor the light. So number 1 is you've got to start to get yourself on a path of balance and alignment. And that's the purpose of meditation. That's one of its primary purposes, is to give yourself this habit morning and night of anchoring yourself in alignment. So the first thing you have to do is bring your life into balance. If you're out of balance and you're dense into 3D, there's no 5D for you because you don't want it. You're out of balance. You're stuck in the 3D. The second thing you need to do to fully open yourself up to these fifth dimensional experiences and energies is you have to learn to become more heart-centered. Head-centered means thinking, explaining, fixing things, having to understand how everything works, like mentally going through everything, judging people, just referencing and framing everything from the third dimensional construct, just thinking about things. And that is good. That's a third dimensional tool that we need to survive. We need to categorize things and explain and fix, and we need to do that to survive. So that's our 3-dimensional mind operating. But you've got to learn how to become more heart-centered. And I don't mean the word you. We have to learn as a collective to become more heart-centered. And heart-centered means more just open to the energies, open to the flowing, you coming yourself to balance and just letting other people who are out of balance just float right by without the need to jump in and try to fix them and correct them. Just let the universe breathe, let the universe go on its own thing. And I want to become more heart centered, more receptive to these energies, more receptive to whatever emotions I'm experiencing, loving people for who they are, right? Just being more heart centered. Again, if you're head centered, you can experience this fifth dimensional meditation, but you can't anchor the light because you need to be heart centered to anchor the light. And the third thing you need to do to fully experience this fifth dimensional energy, this higher vibration in the fifth dimension, is you need to understand the concept of unity consciousness. We all think we're living for ourselves, for our own benefit. I'm doing this so that I can be better, so that I can have more. Almost all the actions we take in the third dimension are for me. I'm reading so I can learn more. I'm exercising so I can be healthier. I'm doing all of these things for me. I'm working harder so I can make more money. Me, 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 me. And that's okay. That's a third dimensional, it's a survival skill in the third dimension. But unity consciousness is very different because in the fifth dimension, you are all of it. You hear like we're all connected, we're all one. Well, the fifth dimension is your ability to experience, your opportunity to fully experience that and embrace it. And we'll do this 5D meditation in a minute. But if you're doing it for yourself, again, you're getting only a tiny fraction of the benefit. You have to let go of your own timeline and realize that you are ascending, that all this work that you're doing, yeah, you're going to get the benefit. You're going to be happier, healthier, more aligned. Yes, you do get personal benefit, but you're not doing it for the personal benefit. You are ascending to create energetic patterns and templates that other people can follow. You're hugging your kids and giving them a lot of positive self-esteem, and you're doing that not for you, so that your kids can grow up into that energetic space of feeling appreciated, so that they then will create the energetic space for their children. You're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for them. And it's the same thing with ascension. You're ascending to create a new energetic space that other people can follow. And the more people that ascend, the more patterns and templates and pathways exist, more people can ascend. When nobody ascends, then it's really hard for the first person to do it because there's no pathway. There's no energetic template to follow. But once you create these energetic templates, the next person goes, hey, if she can do it, I can do it. Like she did it. She's got, two kids, two jobs and all that. And yet she was able to do it. I can do it too because she set the energetic pattern. She set the template. She created the ladder that I can follow. So you have to understand that you're ascending for humanity. You're ascending for the collective. You're ascending for the higher light, not just for yourself, for your own benefit. You're brightening your light to brighten the whole light. And as a collective, we're again not ascending for the we're ascending for the earth to give more light and more energy to the earth. So it's always unity consciousness. The collective itself is built on this concept of unity consciousness, not doing something for me or for yourself, but for the benefit of the collective. And once you grasp this unity consciousness thing, it's a fear because I fear like, well, wait a minute, I have to take care of myself. I have to do my own thing. I mean, who's more important than me? Right? I understand that. Like, and that's a fear. Once you are able to little bit let go and then let go a little bit more, just let go and just really like you think you're going to fall into the abyss and it's all going to be over. It's the opposite. The universe accepts you as you are and now uses your energy to create energetic patterns that other people can follow. All right, so let's imagine ourselves again in the fourth dimension, looking down. We're above the clouds. We're not under the influence of mind whatsoever. We're sovereign. We control our own thoughts. Blue skies in all directions, possibilities that are endless. And I want you to see the bright sun overhead. That's the fifth dimension. So let's now ascend into this fifth dimensional space, understanding, keeping in our minds the idea of balance and alignment, being more relaxed, balanced, and aligned, being heart centered, accepting, open, allowing everything to flow through us instead of trying to have to analyze and think about everything, just experiencing the experience. And then finally, unity consciousness, where we're all doing this together. So I want you to imagine as the sun begins to descend, or as you begin to rise up to this beautiful bright sun in the sky, that's the dimension of light. That's the fifth dimension. And as it touches your the outer field of your energy, the minute that that fifth dimensional light begins to touch your energy, I want you to allow that light to become your energetic pattern. Let it just embrace you. Let go of your own energetic pattern and just become this higher energetic pattern of light. There is no more you. There are no more boundaries. The skin is not a boundary. This light encompasses everything far, far, far beyond your own physical boundaries. You are the light of the universe. And watch it as it weaves itself and integrates itself into your own energetic pattern. Let go of all boundaries and borders and just become the full universal light. And as you disappear, this light takes over everything. You are the light of the universe. Just embrace this light as it goes through you, as it goes around you. You're one and the same. And just allow yourself to expand to be all of it and allow all of it to be within you. The full light of the universe. And I want you to know that your job in life is to be this light, to let go of everything that's anchoring you down into density and just become this light. And as I said earlier, it's muscle memory. The more you do this, the more comfortable you are, the more this becomes your actual reality. You are balanced and aligned. You are heart-centered. We are all in unity consciousness. Picture the earth from above and picture a web of light that surrounds the earth, this fifth dimensional ascension, this light energy that surrounds our beautiful planet. When you look at it closely, you realize this web of light is nothing more than a series of individual lights. You are, each of us is one of those lights, and it is our job in our life to let that light flow and express, embracing that light so that our little point of light shines brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And each time you do something kind or generous or hug your kids or whatever it is that you're doing, that you're on the right path, your light glows brighter. And that makes the entire web of light around the earth glow brighter. I want you to imagine all the people in this room now linking arms, sharing our light, and watch as soon as we connect with one another, the whole light amplifies way brighter than it can ever be individually. And just this small group of people could create a bright section of that light on earth. I want you to see millions of people around the world that are kind and generous and lift other people up and hug their kids and love life, and they're expanding in their own way. And look at all their light get brighter and brighter, and now link arms with all of those people and create this beautiful, bright web of light around our beautiful planet. Notice that this fifth dimensional experience, this fifth dimensional version of who you really are, has nothing to do with the third dimensional version of you. Nothing. It's just the light that's within you, and you're releasing everything else and just allowing this light to expand and allowing yourself to expand until you're part of all of it. And this journey can happen immediately, or it could take forever if you don't unplug yourself from your third dimensional worries and stresses. Just release, pull out all the last plugs that are holding you down in the third dimension, and just become this fifth dimensional expansion of light. The more you sit in this experience, the more this becomes normal. The easier it is to attain this experience, the easier it is to stay in this expansive, connected flow. And all those things you were worried about, all those things that were holding you back, all those things that made you feel unworthy and question you, all gone, disappeared. Irrelevant questions. You're a beautiful, expansive being of light. You've always been. You are worthy. You're healthy. You're flowing. Your life, your body is literally flowing with light. Now you can let it flow. Don't have to hold it in all the time. Let it flow. Let it out. Become who you were meant to be. And add your light to the collective light. Always difficult for me to say something after these blissful meditations, because let's just let the bliss. It just feels good. And it feels so crazy to try to say something specific after expanding to include everything. And then I got to get back to a specific. So always difficult to do that. Just enjoy the bliss. And you don't have to do this meditation all day, 500 times a day. Literally, just a few minutes of this expansive meditation, this releasing, this alignment, this balance, this heart centering, unity consciousness, expanding light, the collective, the earth ascending. Just a few seconds, a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes during the day, a few minutes before you go to sleep. This then becomes the baseline. This becomes more anchored. This light becomes more anchored in you. And just notice just a few things. People have told you that meditation, you have to quiet your mind. Nope, you don't. You don't. That's one type of meditation. There's a million ways to meditate. And what we're doing now is we're literally tapping into our inner being and allowing that to express. And we're doing this through guided meditations. We're giving our minds something to think about, something to experience. We're taking ourselves on a journey. If you just sit and try to quiet your mind, I don't even think that's even meditating, to be honest with you, because all you're doing is thinking about how much you're thinking. Give your mind something to look forward to. Give your mind something to experience. Go on a journey. That's what meditation should be. A journey into new experiences, new aspects of yourself, new levels of thinking, new levels of experience. And when you're finished with this meditation, try to hold this light, this feeling of light, expansiveness, unity consciousness, and bless the next person that you come in contact with your blissful inner self. Don't project and explain and convince and try to get them to do something, or you don't even have to describe your experience. Just be this experience and just observe who they are in the moment. Give them the blessing of all your peace and your balance. You don't have to answer all their questions. You don't have to solve all their problems. You don't have to take them by the hand and pull them to a higher experience. You just become the higher experience yourself. Which leads us to the next topic, which is the sixth dimension. And while I'm not going to go through a whole six-dimensional meditation, just know that they're just like above the third dimension is the fourth dimension, where you can make changes and adjustments in yourself, and you can use the fourth dimension to look up to the light. In the same way, there is a sixth dimension where the light is below, and above you is the seventh dimension of pulsation. And it's this sixth dimension where we are building the Utopia Collective. We are a sixth dimensional collective. And we have a lot of work to do on the sixth dimension, but not material work, energetic work, magnetic work that we're all going to do together. And if you want to be part of that collective, then just let me know. And we're having an organizational meeting on Sunday night where you can get more involved in shaping this collective, deciding our priorities and our future. Because the collective truly exists for all of us. But you don't have to do that. It would have to be something you would want to do. You would want to plug into the collective. Because the truth about our existence here during this incarnation, the truth is we can't just sit and meditate for 8 hours a day. That's old school. Go up on a mountain, go to a monastery, go on a vow of silence for 10 years. That's not us. We have a much more difficult job. Our job is to experience this bliss, to share this bliss, to be unity consciousness in the third dimensional world while we're doing the laundry and the cooking and the shopping and the cleaning and taking care of the kids and doing all that. We have a much more difficult job, but it's achievable. And together we can pull each other up. And that's the goal of the sixth dimensional collective, to pull you up into your higher self, to fight against all the forces that are trying to pull you down, anchor you in the third dimension. And in the sixth dimension, the third dimension is just a gray box. We don't even care what's going on there. It's just a gray box. We're not in it, involved in it. It's just a gray box. And the fifth dimension is just a white box. We're not even worried what's going on in the fifth dimension. And the sixth dimension is the all that is. You are all of it. In every breath, you can breathe from the sixth dimension. Breathe all that light into your body. In the sixth dimension, you can see the fifth dimension, all the light that is, and you can literally condense it and hold it in your own heart chakra. You hold the light of the universe within you. You hold the light codes. For those of you that want to participate in this sixth dimensional conversation about the future of the collective, I just let me know here and or send me a message on Substack, or just let me know here and we'll connect. Love to have you. Because the more people that plug their light into the collective, as opposed to keeping their light plugged into the third dimension, the more people that plug their light into higher ways of thinking and being, the brighter and the more real that sixth dimensional collective becomes. Remember, I told you this is muscle memory. The more you meditate on these things, the more these things just become the new normal, because your life is what you make it. It's what you think about. It's what you think it is. And the more we spend as a sixth dimensional collective, the more the sixth dimension lights up and becomes real. There we go. And the goal of this session is to prompt you to stay with your meditation habit for another 7 days. And I know it's not easy. I know life gets in the way. I know there are real legitimate excuses as why you are out of balance. I get that. But we've got to find a way to anchor ourselves in balance every day until it becomes a subconscious habit, until you become more balanced all the time. And that's this meditation practice that I'm encouraging you to absorb and integrate. Anyone want to share their experiences, their thoughts, questions, insights? Is the microphone working? Just kidding. I know you're there. Thoughts, experiences? I hear you, Natalia. Mm. That's the real test of this work. That's the test of this work, is starting to bring different aspects. See, it's not how high you ascend, it's what you learn up there and what you're able to integrate, and then bring that integration back down into the third dimensional relationship. So instead of going from a calm, beautiful, blissful, expansive feeling into a chaotic roller coaster, you're bringing this calm and blissful feeling and slowly weaving it like thread into your life stream, so that your life stream starts to be more like this experience. And you start to blend the two experiences until your third dimensional experience is more peaceful, more balanced, more expansive. Beautiful, Trace. The light as a consciousness. Yep. Wait till you see the sixth and the seventh. I'm going to leave the eighth, ninth, 10th for maybe next year when we got a whole bunch of people on the sixth and seventh, and I'll show you the eighth, ninth, and 10th. Here's the thing, that fifth dimensional experience that we just did, I want to be really, really clear. Experiencing fifth dimensional awareness has nothing to do with the third dimension, not a thing. The only thing the third dimension can do is pull you away from that blissful experience. That's the only thing it can do. What you want to do is you want to bring this blissful experience back into the third dimension, so it's not such a roller coaster all the time. So just start to go into the third dimension with a plan, with a compass, and you kind of know what you're doing in the third dimension a little bit. And you start to get the roller coaster away from being crazy to more calm and balanced, and develop a more peaceful, calm wavelength in your house, in your work, with your health, with your exercise routines, with your meditation. You want to create a nice, calm, balanced wavelength in your life. Beautiful. Excellent. So we have a couple of things coming up on both on Sunday. On Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, you just should have just gotten an email about it. Where some of you were there this past Sunday, where we opened up the discussion about the secret of the golden flower. And maybe you can comment on what you thought about that session. But in this next session on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, you do have to register. So make sure you hit the register button on the email, so you get the reminder and the link, the Zoom link. It's not on Substack, it's on Zoom. But the secret of the golden flower is an ancient Taoist text that talks about activating and then flowing the actual light consciousness within your body. It's an extraordinary feeling when you get this light flowing. And it's, for me personally, it's been like the fountain of youth, this energy and light that just flows through your body. It's a very, it's an ancient, I wouldn't say it's not quite ancient as some other ancient things, but it's about 1,200 years old, that book. Of course, it's written in Chinese. It's a Taoist book, but it's not about Taoism. So you don't have to know anything about Taoism, and you're really not going to learn anything about Taoism through that book, maybe a little bit, but it's not an introduction to Taoism. It's a meditation technique to find the light, physically find it, and then begin to activate it. So on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes recapping what we talked about this past Sunday, and then we're going to jump into the analysis of the book so that you can anchor this meditation technique in your own practice, and you can start to really learn how to circulate the light within your body and clear out all your obstructions and just become a free flowing um, body of energy and light. A beautiful thing. So if you're interested in that, that's Sunday at 11, and then Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be doing we're going to actually have an organizational meeting, which will be the first time we've done this, an organizational meeting for the collective. So if you want to volunteer to be part of it, if you just want to hear what's going on and, just kind of be aware of what's going on. But of course, once you step over that threshold and you're in that organizational meeting, there is, for all this benefit, all the enlightenment wisdom that you're receiving, there is a payment, right? You've got to, if you, it really is incumbent on you. You're not doing this for yourself. You're doing this for the collective. And as the collective grows, as more and more people put their energy into it, we can start to accomplish some really, really important tasks as a collective. And once you understand the sixth dimension, you'll understand that it actually represents a different type of energy, not a three-dimensional energy, and not the 3D energy of the earth, not the vibrational energy, and not this crystalline energy of the light. It's its own magnetic energy. And in the sixth dimension, we can begin to harness that energy and apply very specific thought patterns to it to manifest through the third dimension. So we're going to learn, we're going to do an experiment basically, is how we can come together as a collective, all agree on one small measurable thing, and then watch as we all put our energy into that one picture. Watch over the next days, weeks, and months how that picture begins to manifest only by magnetic energy, only by putting in six-dimensional concentration on it. So I think it's amazing, and I think we're ready for that step. So for those of you that want to participate in that and be part of the collective, again, just let me know here or let me know on Substack, and I'll send you the invitation. Again, that's not going to be a Substack Live. That's going to be on Zoom. So Sunday at 11 is the light consciousness meditation, the secret of the golden flower. And we'll specifically go through that Taoist book, which is mind blowing. And then Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So what you're talking about, Trace, is where that organizational meeting. So Trace, I'll make sure you get an invitation. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome, Amy. Thank you for being here and being part of it and sharing your energy. That was good. I felt good about that. All right. Thank you all. Everyone have a great rest of your day, a good start to the weekend. And I will see some of you on Sunday morning, and I'll see more of you on Sunday night. Amy, I already gave you the invitation. Trace, I need to find you on Substack. Can you send me a message on Substack, Trace, and I'll send you the registration link. And we already have some people have already registered. I know invited some other people. But yeah, more people's better. Remember, you're not doing this for yourself alone. If you are, then you're only capturing a very narrow bandwidth of the light. You're really doing this to expand consciousness for everybody, and that's our goal as a collective, to heal ourselves and then expand that healing out to others. All right. Everyone, great. All right, Trace, I'll see you on the Substack message. Anybody else who wants to be on that Sunday, well, you got an email about the Secret of the Golden Flower, so you can just register for that. But if you want to be part of the collective meeting organizational meeting on Sunday night, um, yes, hold on to this energy, hold on to this bliss, hold on to this light, and give the next person you see, not words, just the gift of your own bliss, the gift of your own higher ascension. That's what I want you to focus on for the rest of the day today. Everyone have a great day, night, and I'll see you all Sunday morning and Sunday night. Take care, everybody. And by the way, this will be posted on Substack as a post, so you can watch that meditation again. This will be on Substack as a post whenever the video processes and Substack posts it. So, and I don't send out an email because then, well, I just don't. Just look for it on Substack. So, love you all. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. Take care, everybody.